folks, AJ here. We are at Shiloh Baptist Church. We actually came down here a while ago, maybe about 2 years ago, but they called me back. They finished some renovations and we're going to see what we can do to help them out. So let's go inside and check them out. Alright folks, so we are back here and we're going to do a refresher. I'm going to tag the original video that we did this on, but we're here and what we were talking about doing is making this a workstation. This would be kind of like the video switcher, joystick, stuff like this. There's already like a 32-inch screen TV right there. We're going to take that down, put this here. That will be the multi-view. ATEM, maybe a SDI, maybe ATEM Mini Extreme, don't know which one, but we're going to use one of those. That will handle the streaming. They don't have internet here yet, but we're going to build this out so that when internet's here, it can be. So custom PC, put some extra storage for some stuff, maybe Ryzen 5, maybe a Ryzen 7, never know. We throw that in there, ATEM, we got that. We're going to switch the board out and we're going to go with maybe a compact X32, something like that. We're just going to retrofit the existing stuff. We're going to gut this or put in a 24U rack, get all of this stuff centralized in one location so that everything in the rack will be turned on one switch. The board will be turned off on one switch. The ATEM and everything video stuff will be turned on one switch. Also going to integrate a unified network in here so that when internet comes in, they're already ready. We're going to put some access points in the sanctuary, one in the fellowship hall, and one in the admin wing. So that's what we got right now, mainly doing a lot of cleanup on here and simplifying what's here so we can train the folks that are going to be on here. And they also have a bunch of CDs that they want to digitize. And just like I got with my dad's stuff, a bunch of audio cassettes. So if anybody knows of any devices that can speed through this instead of in real time, let me know in the comment section. But let's go to the next part of what we're going to do here as well. All right, so and again, we're going to look at replacing the cameras. We're going to go with 4. So 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to put another one maybe on the side wall somewhere that can get the front but then can also get the baptismal pool up there. Kind of standard of what we've been doing. Most likely for that run I will probably go with the ATEM SDI now. Well, it all depends. Yeah, just trying to figure out because we do have to run the cable for that. We do have access to walk all the way across that way, so that part is not an issue, so we could run that direction, so we should be good. There's already a cable going to each one of these cameras anyway, and I believe it's SDI, so as long as it's an RG6 cable we should be able to repurpose that. And I am gonna flip those upside down so we have more motion and it can get people closer from down here. So that's 1, 2, 3. Also the networking is back there. Probably put the main UDM Pro right there and maybe a PoE switch back there that will send power, and then probably put another one up here and then in the media so we can have all the connections to all the computers and stuff up there and then run the new access point. So again, one access point will be here. Might even just put it right there because it's easier since we have access to it, and then put one there in the fellowship hall and then another one back here. Or to be quite honest, if we're doing that UDM Pro in the other area, we could probably just put the access point in the front of the sanctuary. Could do too, doesn't really matter. But we are avoiding going all the way up there. All right, so what we're gonna also do here is that camera, and I got bad focus here. Let me get in here closer. So here with the TV, this camera is so high that the light is getting in the way. So what we're looking at doing is me see if I can zoom in here. We're going to take this camera down, and what we're going to do is put it here, put it right there, and take the camera down in the clock and put a 75-inch screen because the 32 up there having difficulty seeing. So that's what we're going to do with that.
The original plan was for a camera to go right here.
Mm-hmm.
And it will be more either smaller grade cameras because we're doing something more minimalized for stage right here. And what we were doing was having discussions or something of that nature where we can still record right here, but it would also be controlled by the inside of this room because it's going to be a camera also in this room, which is going to be two separate places where we can record. This right here would go on separately from what's in here, but both of them would less likely go on the same time. So I'm saying that so you wouldn't have to think of, okay, we need a recording station in here and in there. We could have a recording station in here, inside this room to record in there when it's time to record. And there's nothing going on right here. There's going to be another station in here where we can still record in there. You don't have to switch back and forth.
Alrighty, folks. So back here is going to be another room, kind of like a. Think of the same way when I talked about the conference room, how we did this at Signs and Wonders. We're going to put a smaller A10 Mini Pro, maybe an A10 Mini Stream, and they're going to put a couch back here. This is going to be for recording, doing like a little studio type of podcast type of thing. So we're going to put maybe a camcorder on a tripod and have the A10 Mini here, but the A10 Mini is going to feed back into the media room so that this camera can be tied into the main sanctuary, but it will not come back this way. Now, at the same time, because we're on the other side of this wall, we're going to have either a jack over here or another camera. So if they're doing any events in here, this can be another camera that feeds back into the main sanctuary. Now, the other thing is they were talking about hooking up these speakers, but since we're going to be changing out this and where we're going to be sending video and audio to the TVs back here, probably going to be, instead of spending the money on getting more speakers, we're probably going to just repurpose some of the TVs, like the TV right there that was for the choir. We're going to repurpose that and run another SDI cable and put it over here inside the kitchen. So if anybody is back here and they want to hear the service, it's a small TV that we just mount up here in a corner somewhere. I don't know. I don't want to be too close to there, but maybe right here or somewhere like that. So now you have it up, and now they could look up and see the service, or more importantly, they can just still hear it. Because I just don't. Me personally, I don't like running another cable just for sound when you can get video and audio from the same thing. So we're gonna do that, and then it's one more TV that we're going to at least run a cable to. It's going to be back here somewhere, but pretty straightforward. And what we got. So you said the other one's going to be back here?
It'll be the TV will be in that room right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So pretty straightforward there, folks. So let's go ahead and head back over to the computer. I'm going to write out all of this as a design type of thing. And we go from there. So, we get the contract. We're going to bring you here, show you all the process of how we put it together. And hopefully this will inspire you if you're doing something similar to this at your ministry. So let's go ahead and cut over to the computer. Alrighty, folks, we are back here in the house, and it is another day because I was running all day. So let's get over here and make a mental note so we can go back through everything that needs to be in place to help out Shiloh Baptist Church. Alrighty. This is going to be a pretty big install. Again, just like my mindset, we always going to go through designing everything. That doesn't mean that we're going to do everything from day one, but it's good to know that they have a plan of attack when we decide to do everything. So first, we're going to start off in reverse. We're going to start with our networking because they want everything to be in place so that when they actually get internet there, everything is just going to work. So I'm going to start with a UDM Pro, because they want to use a lot of the features that I explained to them in Unify in the future. Security cameras, um, door access, a bunch of stuff. So that's going to be in that closet. Then we're also going to add maybe a 24 port PoE switch, and now be connected directly over a SFP connection to save on the ports, and then we'll be able to run this to other places. So I'm gonna have maybe a 16 port. I'll say 16 port. It'll probably be a PoE switch as well too, or it might just be another 24. Never know. That is going to be connected over Ethernet. This is going to be in the media room, so all of the connections will be able to go there, and we'll have access point 3 of them. So this would be access point here. And actually, I should give these names. This should be access point media, access point fellowship hall, and then another one, access point admin. And because these are so close to the back routing of the media, this will be easy to run to because we have direct access to the pastor's office and all the fellowship hall area out of the media. And those are those areas. And then we'll place another one here in that back closet because it's so close to the front of the church. That will be the one for the sanctuary. And we might do 2 of them, to be quite honest. Maybe put one in the front and then another one here in the back. All right. And then because in that closet they already have connections there. Looks like they have a 16 port or 8 port patch panel that we will just terminate and connect to here. So hopefully we don't have to really run a lot of stuff. Most that we will have to do is run for this part, but that's not running stuff from the front of the church all the way to the back. That's stuff that's already existing. So there we go. So once internet comes in, boom, the whole church is covered. Ultimately, we'll probably put another PoE switch in the fellowship hall so that if we have to do security cameras in the area, we can connect. So that's going to be our backbone. Now, outside of that, and I'm going to do this on the same one so we can save space. We're going to bring in, I'm trying to think which one I should do. I think I'm going to do the ATEM Extreme SDI because they already have RG6 going to the old camera placements. We're just going to repurpose those. So we have that. We're going to replace the cameras that they got right now. This back so we can, well, I'm going to do this in reverse. So this is the media area. Let's shrink the camera a little bit. So we got 1, 2, 3, and then one in the front right now. So those are going to be our SDI connections that hopefully we can just repurpose the connections that are already there because we can run stuff, but do we have to? And there's already, this camera that's up there already has a BNC connector. Hopefully it's RG6. We can just run an extension of what's already there. So really looking forward to hopefully doing that. So this would be what? Right PTZ, back PTZ, left PTZ, and front PTZ. Now the beauty of this, since this is going to be in the front, this PTZ is going to be connected to the PoE switch that's going to be right around the corner. That's what's going to give this power. And depending on where these cables are, all of the rest of these are going to go back to this PoE switch. And let's slide this over here so that we can get all of these cables, cameras that have power. Now, I'll be honest, since the existing cameras are already there, I don't know how they're powered, but they obviously are. If, and this goes against what I typically would do, if these have electrical outlets already there, I might just use the electrical outlets there and not even go with PoEs to these cameras. Because again, never mind. I was getting ready to say I wasn't going to do that. We have to run a network connection anyway to use the joystick. So, oh well. We're going to get a IP joystick, of course, and I'm running out of space here. So now that all of these can connect to one another, all right. So we got our television. We're going to put a 75 in the back. Back TV. Then that's gonna allow us to get rid of the one that's for the choir, because the one in the back will be able to handle that. So we'll say this is right TV, left TV. Trying to find a best path for this. So there's already a cable going there. I don't know what type of cable. It's honestly looking in the back of the TV, it's like a RCA cable. So I know no one ran a RCA cable that entire distance. Most of the time, I've seen them go from a coax and then use a converter to convert it down to a RCA. We want to repurpose that, but the mindset is we're going to have two options. And this is the same thing learning from Boston. We're going to run two dedicated cables. This one is going to be simple. And actually, I need to have one more monitor because that's going to be our multi-view. I'll put it right here, multi-view. So we're going to connect that here. And then we're going to have a distribution. I need to find a good place to place it. All right. So depending on how it works, we might have to do two of these, two distributions, so that the TVs, actually, and I forgot, there's another TV in the front in the entrance that we have to do. It's actually, this back TV, I'm probably going to have its own dedicated connection. So that's one. Why did I paint that color? That needs to be black because that's an SDI connection. So that's one out, 2, 3. We have one more. So that could be 4. Yeah, so that's 1, 2, 3. And the SDI has 4 dedicated outs. So I might have to repurpose this in how I do this, but let's just do this for right now. Let's bring this down to the left TV. And then this distribution is also going to feed everything else. But what I'm thinking, that third out, we want to give 2 distinct connections. All right. So this is going to be the entrance TV. It's starting to get messy here. Let me set this right here. The entrance TV. That they want this to have its own unique type of output, but at the press of a button, this can change what is being fed here. So let me bring this down so my stuff looks a little bit more organized. So we could have it plugged into ATEM SDI, and then we can route something. So say another computer is connected here just for a slideshow. Pro Presenter most likely is going to be the application of choice just because of all of this, and we can route different stuff. I could add a smart video hub. I don't want to do that right now. That might be an option, but we got, again, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 dedicated outs. We always could have this connected directly to a computer. Never know. But anyway, that's what we got so far. Let's go with a computer in here. I'm going to build a custom system that's going to run their presentation software and everything. Again, most likely I'm going to use Pro Presenter for this, put a bunch of Decklink mini monitors like we've used before. And this will allow us to have, we don't have to do a converter because we already have a dedicated SDI connection going to this system. So that will give us this stuff. We'll also connect this to the ATEM over USB. That's how that system can also be controlled. And we're also going to put in, and I need a different shape. We're going to do a full-size X32. That's going to replace their board. We already have all the connections. So we're going to have this connected, audio connected from the system so that they can play music from the computer. Then our audio is going to be connected back to the ATEM directly. That's how all the house sound is going to come in. And yeah, so let's scroll down some more. We need some more TVs. So we have Fellowship Hall TV, Trustee TV, Kitchen TV, and I didn't distribute these right. Something like that. So this is going to be Pastors TV, Fellowship Hall TV, Kitchen TV, and then we have Trustee TV. And we're just going to run connections from here. And again, this is where I might introduce a second distribution that's in that area, just so it makes it easier that if there were other TVs in this area, it just makes it simple. I would honestly even introduce a Thor HDMI to coax in this area because these areas are far enough. I mean, actually 2 of them, the trustees and the pastors. But at this point, because the fellowship hall and the kitchen is so close, because they just have a sliding door, they can actually hear everything that's going on. I need this to be in real time in sync, and that Thor throws a delay. So we'll do that. Just run these connections directly from here. Why did it do that? All of that. This will connect everything here. Interesting. So we're not done yet. Now they want to have their own little studio in the fellowship hall where they're going to do podcasts and stuff like that. So this is going to be an ATEM Mini Pro. They're going to have their DJI wireless mic. They can hook up to that. That's going to be there. And we're going to put another camera in the fellowship hall. I didn't want that one. There we go. So this is going to be a fellowship hall camera. This is going to be connected Yeah, to the ATEM. And this is going to be over HDMI because it's going to be real close. Then we're also going to have another camera. And actually, let's do this. We need a camcorder because this is going to be a one that's like on a stand. We have another camcorder. This is going to be for the podcast room camera. That's going to be connected here. And I'm just going to do a laptop right now because I don't know. Might do another computer in that room. So I don't know. That's going to be connected here. Also, USB is going to be connected to this system as well. That's our control. And we're going to use the television in here for the multi-view. You see how messy this is getting now? Multi-view. And again, the ATEM Mini Pro only has one output. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a switch on this output here. This is going to be a 1 in, 2 out. Yeah, I think that would work instead of a switch. A 1 in is coming from the ATEM and then 2 outs. And then the other out is going to be routed with a converter. This is going to be HDMI to SDI. And then this is going to route all the way back to the ATEM. Now, why is that? So now, depending on whichever camera you want, say you want to cut over and see what's going on in the fellowship hall. That's why I might make this a PTZ and mount it on the wall. But having this will now give everybody back here an option to see that camera. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and maybe 7 inputs. So you have one more that's going to be fed into the system. So when somebody's using the system, they can see the multi-view and whatever. If they want this camera feed, you know what? I can avoid all of that. If I take this out, take that converter out, and if I actually have a PTZ here, I can have HDMI and SDI connected, and we don't have to do anything at all. Yeah, so we'll just run a feed, an SDI cable from that camera all the way back, but then the HDMI will feed here. So this is its own independent system. This doesn't need to be on, just this camera, and then it'll just show up as another feed in Sanctuary. So I think that would work. So yeah, that is the system. I'm gonna put all of this stuff together. And again, this is the full shebang if we did everything. Oh, you know what I forgot? We got to do with the X32, they want to do some P16s to get the musicians out of all the amps and everything like that. So this would mean we need to put a P16M. I think that's the distribution. So that's going to be connected over Ethercon or something in that way. And then we have the personal monitors for the musicians. So I'll say, let's just go with 4 for right now. And that distribution actually supports 8 of these. That'll be the P16s for the musicians. Then they can do whatever they want. Now, when you thought we were done, we're going to add one more thing. They also want to do security cameras in the future. So we're just going to put this up in place for right now. And typically, I like to do it to where each camera is, at minimum, put cameras for every entrance that's coming into the church. So we got the front, the side, the back. So it's about 5 of these. So I'm not going to place these anywhere. But because we're using the whole Unify stuff with the hard drive and everything like that, that's what makes this easy. And we'll just connect to all of these. And again, most likely, these will probably be put on a separate network or something like that to make it a lot easier. But honestly, really not needed. I mean, pretty redundant, and I like the Unify stuff when it comes to things like this. So we're all good to go here. Like I said, it is highly unlikely I'm going to do all of this in one fell swoop. But we'll see. And again, we're talking about maybe replacing the 2 TVs in the front and go bigger because we're going to put a 75 in the back, replace those 2 in the front, 75. So one of the TVs that is in the front, we're going to take that down, and that's going to become the trustee TV. The smaller one that was on the back wall is going to become the multi-view inside the sanctuary. The other smaller one is going to become the one in the kitchen. There already is one in the pastor's office. There's already one in the fellowship hall. And we have a multi-view. Each one of these TVs is going to need a converter. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, unless I do the distribute. Nah, I was going to put a distribution there and then convert it over to HDMI. We don't have to worry about that. So I don't need it for here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 converters, not a problem. And then we're good to go. So yeah, that's going to be a beast of a system. Link is going to be down below to everything that I'm using for this. I'm going to send this over. And like I said, if we get the contract, I'm going to bring y'all along, hopefully get y'all some ideas on how you can do this yourself. And that's about it. So again, Shiloh Baptist Church, thank you so much. I know it's been a few years, but thank you for calling me back. And we're going to do whatever we can to help modernize your media ministry. So if you like this type of content, appreciate a like, consider subscribing, hit that bell. That way you get notified when we come out with other videos to help modernize your media ministry. Thanks for watching, folks. This is AJ. Catch you on the next video. Later.